So, for those of you watching from YouTube, this is my rundown of the add-ons that I'm using on World of Warcraft. I am using a bunch of different add-ons. If you don't know how to download those, it's very easy. There's multiple ways, but the one I'm using are downloaded either from their official website, and then you can follow the instructions there, or you can download them from the Twitch app. So if you have the Twitch app on your desktop, it's very easy. You just install it. You can type it in Google Twitch app, Twitch desktop app, and that will download that. Then you'll see my games. There's a bunch of games there, and then you'll do mods, and then it'll highlight games that you have that are currently installed that there are mods for that are supported by the Twitch app. Then you just click on the game. You have your own add-ons that you already have installed, and then you have get more add-ons. That is if you want to research new add-ons to install and stuff like that. So essentially when you're going to start, if you've never done this before, you're going to do get more add-ons because you won't have pre-existing add-ons installed. Then you go and search, and then you see all that good stuff. Now there's a caveat to that. The thing is, I'm using the main add-on I'm using is actually called ElvUI. Just hold on. ElvUI. So you just type in ElvUI, ELVUI. I'm gonna post some link under the video afterwards, but here we go. So download TUKUI, so TUKUI, and then when you go, you click on that, and then you go in here somewhere, add-on ElvUI, download. So you just download that here. So when you download it, it's gonna download a file like a .rar file, I believe, or a zip file. And so if you've never installed manually any add-ons before, what you need to do is you need to take these two files, and you go and you put them into your World of Warcraft file. So mine is in C86 program files, and then Blizzard, is it? No, maybe it's in my D. Get it?
Oh my!
It is. So it's not Blizzap. It is World of Warcraft. And then you go into interface, add-ons, you pick that up and you dump it in there. Simple as that. Whenever you install something like an add-on using the Twitch app, they're all going to automatically download to that location. You won't even have to do anything. You're just going to go straight in there. So the first one I got is ElvUI. So you just do that. You put it in there. Then what you want to do is, I believe on this, you do browse. And mine is called Miratilis UI. So it just happened that it is the top 10 updated add-on, but you can type it in the search bar too. Miratilis UI. So you click on there. It's going to show you this, blah, blah, blah. You click the download now button. Same deal. It's going to download there. Just click on that. It's going to open it up. You take whatever is in there, and you also put it in the interface and then add-on subfolder. Now, once that's all done, what you do is you open the game. Wait, before we do that, there's a couple more add-ons I want to talk about. So the other ones you can just find in here. So the important ones, I would say, because there are some in there that are really not important. Also some in there that I downloaded that I then removed. They're still part of my add-ons because I've not deleted them, but I'm not using them. In the game, later on I'll show there's like an add-on section. You can tick or untick different add-ons that you might want to use or not, depending on like how they play with each other, if they mesh well, if some of them are erasing some others and stuff like that. So what you do is you go in there. I would highly suggest getting DBM. Is about to do something, so instead of just having to pay attention visually, you can also hear something. Very cool add-on to have, and really I would say almost mandatory if you plan on raiding later on. Then I'm using details as a damage meter. So that's my damage meter. You can have different damage meter. This is mine. I use detail, and then in detail, I believe there's an option. You click tiny threat or healing done. So you can do basically all three. You can have your damage, you can have your threat that you're generating, and then you can have the healing done or healing received or whatever. There's multiple ways to set it up to your liking. I am not using LVUI Shadow and Light, so you can forget that. Most of these actually I'm not using. So Binic UIs, these are like I tried them out, didn't like him as much, and stopped using them. I am using Meritilus though, so keep that one. Immersion is the add-on that you see in my videos where instead of having like a yellow page for my quest, it's like like a black bubble of dialogue. And once the dialogue is done, it goes to page 2, page 3, and it looks more like an actual RPG. That is Immersion. I have instance portals installed and running on my game. It is not something that you have to do at all. Basically, the only thing it does is in the world map, it shows you where an instance entrance is. Honestly, doesn't matter at all. You could totally not do it. I just like having the icon on the map. That's it. It's just personal preference. I use LS Toast. Freaking love that one. It's really cool. So anytime you pick anything up of value, it just pops as if it was almost like an achievement or something. Like it's a giant ass like rectangle bar that appears, and it appears on the top up here. Like when I play WoW, like it appears like here when my mouse is moving. So it appears here every time I loot something. It just pops in there and it just like fills that up, and it looks pretty cool. I like it. So I'm using it. NPC scan, really useful. Whenever you're walking around in the world, you'll see like a pop-up that will appear with like a big sound telling you that there's a rare mob that spawned nearby your location. So then you can just start looking around and trying to see where it is. You kill it. Maybe you get some loot. Maybe you get an achievement depending on like where you are in the world. Maybe you get a mount. There's like different things for different NPCs, but yeah. Overachiever is a cool add-on to track on your achievements. It's like it just gives you more option of tracking them. So if you're an achievement whore like I am, you might like that. Honestly, I'm using Pet Tracker. Pet Tracker is one I'm using a lot. I really like Pet Tracker. Essentially, what it does is it will give you on the map, on the in-game map, you'll have like a bunch of icon on every zone that tells you where every single pet you can capture are. And then what you can for the pet battle system, and then what you can do is you can filter that, which I did, and I put it as only show me the one I'm missing. So then the map will be populated only with icons of pet battles, pet that I have not yet captured. And then under my quest tracker, it'll be like a bar that says, 8 out of 11, for example. So I know that in that zone, there's a possibility of 11 pets to be captured. And then underneath that, there's like a list of the pets that I don't have right now that are located in that specific zone. As soon as you change zone, it will update itself automatically. You don't have to do anything, and it just like shows you different things. I like having it because I love the pet battle system. So yeah, there's that. Weak auras you can get if you want to. It just adds like some bling to your bar, your action bars and stuff. It'll just like flash whenever a spell is ready and stuff like that. Then I have a bunch of other ones here that I'm not really super using. I mean, action bar profiles you can if you want to. It just saves your setup. You don't need to do it though. LVUI has its own saving system, so that it's fine. Archies to help with archaeology. I'm not really using it. You can have bug sack if you want to. I would actually highly suggest that you take it. Sometimes when you mix and match a bunch of different add-ons, bug stack will just like grab every single pop-up that would pop in your screen telling you your add-ons are up to date, or they're conflicting with each other, or they're causing issues and stuff. You won't see them, so they'll just like go in that like a text file somewhere, and that's hidden from you, so it doesn't like impact your gameplay. Also, it makes an annoying sound every time a bug is detected. Like it says like uh-oh, and it's super annoying. Thankfully, though, there's a button in the options for Bugsack that will allow it to be muted, so then you don't have to hear that sound anymore, and it will just keep doing what it needs to do. Then there's a bunch of like different stuff for daily boss mod, like DBM interrupts, timeless isle, blah blah blah. Honestly, you can install all of them separately, like I did. You can just actually, I would almost suggest that you do. I'm not sure. I never tried just having DBM period. So what I did is I installed all the other things that said DBM next to it, just in case. But I'm not exactly sure what that causes. LVUI extra action bars. You might want this if you want even more action bars. LVUI comes with a bunch of bars already, but if you want even more, you can do that. I have Location Plus that I'm using. Professions Data Text I'm using. Quest XP. I'm not using that one. You don't have to. Smart Quest Tracker. I don't remember. I don't think I'm using it. I honestly don't think so. Postal is just a mod for your for the Postmaster. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. Leveling guides and Profession Tracker and all that stuff I'm not using at all. Spell Flash I'm not using, and Holy I'm not using either. I downloaded, but I'm not actively using. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the rundown. There's not that many things I'm using, and I basically explained each and every one of them. Pawn, I forgot what pawn is. Oh, I think I'm using pawn only so that it tells me whenever I want to get something, if it's like whenever I complete a quest. I think that's the mod that tells me like, oh, like there'll be like quest reward, and one of them will have like a dollar sign on it, and I know that if I take this one, it's the one that has the most value for money. I don't have to mouse over them, each of them, and see which one sells for more. It tells me just like at a glance, and but yeah, that's the only reason I'm using it. It's not really like a super big part of what I use. So let's get in game, and we'll just do a quick rundown of everything in the game. There's one thing I didn't mention. I am using some sweet effects, filters. I mean, I could go and explain all of that, but it's honestly, it's a bit of a, it's a bit annoying to explain. I would have to like change my setup and replace it with something else, but basically what it does is it gets the graphics looking sharpier. So anything that appears in game will look as if like it's more detailed, slightly, not by much, but it makes a difference. So, and that's why I quite enjoy it. So yeah, so just to see what I have active right now, and even the one I have active, some of them I don't even use. But yeah, everything that's LVUI I have, DBM I have, NPC Scan Overachiever, Pawn, like I said I have, Pet Tracker I'm using, Postal. I guess I'm using Wooly, but I think I removed a bunch of it, I'm not even sure. If you do get Wooly though, please bear in mind that you need to get Grail. If you don't get the add-on called Grail, which I believe you have to download manually from the internet, you won't be able to run Wooly. Oh, I know why I'm using Wooly. Okay, when you open your map with Wooly, it will show you exclamation points for every quest that are in that map. That includes like literally every quest. Even if you've never been to a location, you'll still see the quest markers on the map, so you know that in that location or around that place there's an NPC you need to quest. The main reason why I downloaded Wooly is a personal preference, because of the lore mastering series. I really want to play every single quest, so having that will let me know if I'm missing some quests or not in the zone. That's the only reason I have it. You don't have to play the game with this at all. The game does a fantastic job of bringing you from one quest up to another. It's very rare that you'll be missing quests. But if you do want it, it's there. But like I said, you have to download Grail. Once you download Grail, you just get everything with it. And yeah, that is basically it. So once you get in game, it feels like for whatever reason, it feels like my thing didn't pop up properly. Settings, shift 2, blah blah blah. Is it running my config or not? I don't feel like it is. It's not. I think it's this one. I don't feel like it's active today. I don't know why. It used to be active right away. Now it just doesn't... I don't know if it's because there's like a new version of it or something, but it doesn't feel like it's working right now. But usually, yeah, usually I have a thing that makes it so that the graphics are a little bit sharper instead of being foggy. I think right now they are foggy though. Yeah, right now they're the regular graphics. But yeah, so whenever I start, you'll see this pop up. You can just click hide, disable, whatever. So whenever you start, actually, you know what? I'm gonna... I said, oh, never mind. Hold on. We'll do this right. Let's go here, log out. It's a lot easier if I create a new character, honestly. So let's just create whatever. Just create that. Customize, randomize the name. Let's go. Doesn't matter, I'll delete that character afterwards. Just give it a second, it'll pop in the screen. There we go. Yeah, for whatever reason, the thing doesn't seem to be working. So I'm just going to skip that. It's fine. Whenever you start the very first time, you get a bunch of stuff. So details, I can just click on that. It's fine. Okay. So details will give you a pop-up. It'll tell you which profile you want to use. If it's the very first time you use it, there's no profile to choose. It's just going to do whatever. So when you start, if you have ElfUI and Merithalis, you will get this. Like, you will get this window. So this window, very simple. You just follow the process. Do not click skip process, because then you won't set up properly. So what you do is you do continue. Now it wants to set up the CVAR, so you have to click on it. It says CVAR set. Continue, set up chat. It's going to just set up the chat like it wants to be. Also, you can some text overlaps and stuff, but you'll see it'll fix itself. Continue. Then you get to choose between classic, which changes this essentially. So when you look at this, dark or class. Honestly though, it doesn't matter, because Merithalis will change all of that stuff anyway. I always click classic by default, but that's just me. Continue, I go iRes, because honestly, if you're not playing in iRes, your PC must be really, really old. Continue, then you pick whatever your class is going to be. So let's say I'm a healer. Using the healer layout is highly recommended. You download the add-on Click if you wish to have to click the click to heal function. That's fine. Or you could go tank. Like, it really doesn't matter. So continue, then you click on auras or icons only. I like to have both. So aura set, and then continue, and then finish. So it's going to reload the UI with everything. It will just place stuff around with the specification you just told it to have. So it will look a bit funky still, because Merithalis is not on yet. This is only base ElfUI. Okay, now we are in Merithalis. So Merithalis, same process, same deal. So what you do is you go in there and you do continue, profiles. If you don't have a profile right now, you just click new or current, doesn't matter. Current is by default the one you have for this new character. So let's see, this character, I've never used this profile before, and it's still the current one that's active. So basically I could just click continue and it would be fine. Layout, you click on it because you want it to place itself in the layout of Merithalis. Continue, CVARs, do the same. Set up chat. See, stuff changed at the bottom there. It's still not perfect. It'll fix itself later on. Continue, set up data text. And then action bars. So an action bar will appear here, and then another one down there. But as you can see, this is my health and my mana. It's not super cool to have super like all the way down there. So what I do is you go in there, unit frames. It'll place itself right next to this. Continue and then finish. Now we're just gonna reload everything and pop it, you know, the correct way, correct place. Okay, so now technically, and you can hide this. Now, it's at this point that you will notice that the bars here, like in blue down there, is based on your class. So if I were playing a druid, it would be orange. If I'm playing a rogue, it's yellow. Now I am on the shaman, so it switched to blue. Other than that, you will also notice that you have this bar up there. Really cool to have. Honestly, it's one of my favorite features. I really love it. You have where you are located right now. So Echo Isles, Dark Spear Shore. You have a bunch of informations down there. These are for the changing your spec will change your gear and stuff. You can save some gears. Kind of like you can save some gears and things already so that they can load right away whenever you switch your spec, and it will also change your talents appropriately. Down there you'll see it says your guild, my FPS, my MS, the number of friends that I have that are online, and you just put your mouse over there and then you see exactly who's on right now and what they're doing. And then my XP bar is right here, right next to this. And my rep bar would be the same, but would be on this side instead. Now, your buff will pop up here. You'll have the loot stuff that I was telling you about. I was going to go down there. If you click on the NPC, this is Immersion window.
Yeah, man! Let's crack some tiki target skulls!
Other than that, what you can do is if you go into the LVUI, when you press escape, you'll have a new button called LVUI. If you click on it, it will give you all the option to mess around with your LVUI. You can literally change everything. So, for example, I could go into Maritilis.
Your trainer should be somewhere in the grounds
You go into
here.
Module.
I'll catch you later, man.
And then you can click on there. And it's bugged. It's showing me the same bar as it's not supposed to. It's supposed to show me a bunch of different buttons instead of just a mini screen of my stuff. I don't know what that's about, but you can just change a bunch of information here. You can go in there, for example, like you can set up, you know, the size of the buttons for the bags. You can change the chat, tooltip, unit frame. What I like to have in my unit frame though is I like to have, is it in general? I don't know. Player frame maybe? I like to have this, but not the portrait. I want it to be in the background of it. Yeah, there's something wrong with this. I don't know what it is, but something is broken. But yeah, you can just change all your setups that way, and then you can play and stuff, and everything's okay. So this is your, when you press C or P or all that stuff, everything is in that same type of look and design. You can also click on add-ons, and then you have all your add-ons that you have right now, and you can change it up. You can click or unclick whatever you want, and then you can, at the very bottom there, you click on OK, and then you reload UI, and it's going to be okay. What you can do also is go into interface, into add-ons, and then you have a bunch of other options, including Bugsack, the button I was telling you about earlier that says mute. You can click on that. That will mute it, so you won't have to worry about that, like, like annoying sound in the background. You can set up immersion the way you want it to be, toast. When you do that, it opens the config. And yeah, when you, this is Maritilis. Maritilis will do that. So whenever you press escape, you'll have like a logo of your class, and the logo of Maritilis down there. You'll have your character in 3D dancing or doing an emote, and sometimes you'll have a pet from the pet battle system that's going to be here, like a random pet that'll just be here and chill. And yeah, that's basically it. Super simple, not too hard to understand, pretty easy to set up. That is basically it. Yeah. So thank you for watching, guys. And have a great rest of your